Hi, this is Ian Wright, and I've been asked to, and I really wanted to actually, start to do a little bit of work which can help people when they're dealing with chronic and also sometimes severe pain. So actually, this was going to be one podcast, but there's too much in it. It's too big a subject for one, and I'm going to do 4 different ones, which will cover a kind of meditative, contemplative practice, and hopefully these are going to be 4 different sort of techniques, as it were, that you can use when you're in pain, when you're suffering from pain. Actually, this works quite well with anxiety as well, but it's a different subject. But we're talking about pain. Now, I've been using some of these techniques a long period of time, giving them out to people who have chronic, serious, difficult pain that just doesn't stop, like a gnawing, deep pain. Like, for example, someone who has trigeminal neuralgia, which is an impingement or an irritation of one of the nerves to the face. And that is supposed to be a terrible, severe and chronic difficulty and pain. For example, other people who have very severe pain are people who have, say, secondary bone cancers and things like that. Very severe pain, which is, you just need to find a window because it can drive you crazy. Now, also, these techniques we can use if we've got a bit of toothache or a bit of a headache. I work with a lot of people who have chronic migraine, headache syndromes, craniofacial pain type situations. Pain is horrible. Pain, what happens is you have the receptors, be it in the nerve endings, to the skin, or to the deep organs, or the bones, or wherever that is causing this problem, send these reflexes back up through the spinal cord, switches through part of the brain called the thalamus into the sensory cortex, and this is like an electrical current. The nervous system almost works like an electrical current, and it's like the pathway becomes super stimulated. And what happens in chronic pain is the whole nervous system becomes agitated and reactive to it. So you can have emotional responses, be it anxiety, depression, etc., etc. So what happens is one part of the brain is being overly, repeatedly stimulated, and it sensitizes the entire nervous system. And often when you're treating people, you have to try and help calm down the entire nervous system. But the reason why I'm doing this is to try and give us some little tools, little windows into this to try and get a little bit of comfort. And it's a difficult thing. This is why I'm attacking this. It's a very difficult thing to do, because when you're in chronic pain, it is demanding your attention. It is absolutely demanding. It's saying, listen to me. It's gnawing at you. It's constant. It's repeated. And what we have to do here, it actually gives us a great opportunity to learn to become very precise in some ways, taking command of where our attention is and where we place our attention. And part of the techniques I'm going to go through is to do with where we place our attention. For example, we can place our attention on where the pain is, or we can change it. We can find a different place in our bodies that doesn't feel pain, and we can take our attention awareness there, and when the pain draws you back to that place, we can bring our attention to another place in the body. We'll go into this a lot more. Or we can take, if the pain is too much within our bodies, we take our attention to somewhere outside our bodies. So our attentional awareness goes somewhere else, like into the room or to the horizon. Or we can take our attentional awareness to an imagined place, that perfect beach, that lovely log fire in the mountains, that beautiful sofa, somewhere that feels comforting and safe. And so by learning to take command of our attention and take it where we will it to be, we can start to desensitize this constant nerve triggering in the thalamosensory cortex, and start to take control and start to find a little bit of peace. That was only one of the techniques, actually. We're going to use certain helpful friends in this journey, and one of them is a practice of, it's a kind of practice of acceptance, allowance, and observing. So we start to become the observer of our pain as opposed to being the pain being us, and that's what this first one is going to be about. The second one is about using our breath, and in various different ways to work with the pain. And there's 3 or 4 techniques within that around using the breath. The third one is being very precise as to where we take our attention, which is what I talked about a little bit before. And the fourth one is actually taking our awareness from what feels lesioned, horrible, and painful to within our bodies, to meeting something that is healthful even within that pain, to find that micro point, that like pinhead of light within the dark pain, and keeping our awareness 100% on that. And what we concentrate on grows. So that's an outline of the 4 different types of techniques that we're going to use. The first thing I'd say when you're working with chronic pain, as when you're working with anxiety stories, there is no one way in. What we're doing is we're looking for a way in, a window in, because actually our internal sky is clouded up with pain and suffering, and we need to find a way through that. And the way I like to teach it is to not get caught on one technique. We try one technique, it doesn't work, fine. We try the next one, and then we try the next one. Then we combine 2 or 3, and we come back to another one. Try the 4th one. Whatever works for you is a way in. And some techniques will work better for you. That's why I'm wanting to give quite a few different things. And you flip between them very quickly. Okay, this doesn't work. I'm doing this. Fine. This is a way in. Boom. You find a way in, and you follow that way in, and then you can build the techniques back together and throw them all in together. I like the whole idea of combining a lot of different factors in which build. And so a lot of the stuff I teach is around building up layers and layers of technique, which give us a stronger way in each time. And actually, with all of these techniques, another important thing to say is the more we do it, the more we can do it. It's about practice. Why they're called practices, because they're about practicing. And the more we practice, the better we can do it. And we have to keep at it. It's actually very hard. If you're in constant pain and chronic pain, this is the hard stuff. It's hard enough for anyone to sit quietly, find a bit of peace and meditation. But if you're in pain, wow, that's a real challenge. But if you can break through that challenge, it can actually lead you to something very, very beautiful and a great place of peace and calm. And that's what we're aiming for. We can almost use our pain as a way through to something that feels better for ourselves. Okay. First practice, which I call AAO. So what I want you to do, I'm just going to take you straight into this practice, okay? So I want you to sit, find somewhere quiet that you can spend 5-10 minutes. And you're not going to be disturbed, and you're comfortable, even though, if you're in pain, say if you're in back pain, lie down. Find somewhere that is the most comfortable you can be. If you've got a headache or you've got some kind of deep pain, find what is the most comfortable you can be in terms of position for your pain. And from that point, what I want you to do is close your eyes for a second. And if you find that your eyes being closed too much, keep them open and keep them fixed on something. Like, for example, light a candle in front of you. I like to light a candle in front of me. keep my awareness on the candle. That's perfect. Whatever actually is the easiest. What we're here to do is find ease within discomfort. The whole journey is to find ease and to find space and to meet something that actually feels healthful for us. So the first thing we're going to do, we sit quietly and we're going to try and bring our attentional awareness on something that feels soft, quiet, and delicate in our breathing. So we take a breath in, a very gentle breath in. So we breathe soft. We don't breathe hard, we breathe soft. Now, if you're in pain, it can be hard to breathe soft. But what you do is within that, you meet something that feels soft. Now, if you can't feel softness in your breath, just tune in, close your mouth, and tune into the movement of the air in your nose and feel that soft touch of the air as it moves through your nose, in and out, and tune into that. Again, what we're doing is we're bringing our awareness to specific things. That's a starting point. Now, as soon as you start to tune into the softness in your breath, something happens. What happens is the pain gets loud. Or your thoughts, or your feelings, or your emotions, whatever, they all come up. It's like it demands the attention. If you try to take your attentional awareness somewhere else, it's going to demand your attention. And that is 100% normal. The first thing that we have to do with this practice of AAO is the acceptance. We have to accept that we are going to be in pain, or we are going to have these thoughts, feelings, or emotions, or if we're anxious, that we are going to be anxious. That's okay. I accept, so you can say it, I accept that this is happening, right? Then what we do is we fully allow the pain. Now, this is hard to do at the beginning because it can feel a little overwhelming. So just allow the fact and allow the pain to be. Don't try and push it out of your mind. Don't try and ignore it. Just absolutely allow it. Even say it at the beginning. I fully allow this. I fully allow this. I fully allow this. And as you keep allowing it more and allowing it, and what can happen is the pain can be replaced by an emotion, an anguish, or whatever it is, or a feeling of anxiety, or a feeling of anger, anything. Allow that. Allow everything that comes up. And the pain can come back and throb at you, and you tune into this softness. Fully allow the feeling, the sensation, and bring your awareness very gently back to the softness in your breath. And if you can do this for 30 seconds, by fully allowing it, and bringing your awareness back to the quiet softness in your breath, there can start to be a little window in this dark cloud in your internal sky, a little softness, a little quiet, and your breath quietens down, and a window can form. The pain doesn't go, but you just fully allowed it, and you fully allowed it, and it just softens it. It lets it breathe a little bit, gives a little bit of space. Now, if we can make a little jump here between allowing the pain to be and observing the pain. So what you do, you go to this quiet place in you that observes this sensation in your body, which is the pain. And you're observing this. You're observing this nerve pathway that is being triggered in your brain. Okay? But the person observing the pain isn't the pain. I am not my pain. I'm observing my pain. It's a cloud across my sky. Bring your awareness back to the softness in your breathing and start just to watch this pain. And watch and don't react. Don't tighten up. Allow it. Softness in the breath. Good. And things can just start to get quiet and gentle. And you can feel a bit sleepy, and that's okay too. And there, as things soften a little bit, there's just a little window in your pain. So the practice is accept, allow, and then bring yourself to observe. So the observer is not the pain. I am not my pain. And all the time bringing your awareness back to the softness and quietness in your breathing. And things can get quiet, and a little moment of peace can come in. And allow your attentional awareness to feel that moment of peace, or the softness that comes into your chest. It gets a little warm sometimes and nice. Okay, great. And we're going to build on this with 3, 4, 5 other techniques. I wish you well, and I wish you a degree of freedom from your pain, and we'll come back for the second technique in a second.